all the misinformation and misdirection, it is true there is some number of people who are going to lose plans that they like. And I'm confident a year from now, everyone will be better off. It's also an undeniable fact that right now, the individual insurance market is being pretty thoroughly disrupted. And for some people, that really sucks. While the coverage of this disruption has largely been sloppy and hyperbolic, it has been illuminating in one way, as an object lesson in something that cognitive psychologists call status quo bias. And here's an example of that. A classic study out of Harvard found if you give people a number of different investment options to choose from, they lean heavily towards the option that is framed as continuing what they are already doing, even if that's a bad choice. This basic result has been established in experiment after experiment. We are biased to like things the way they are and fear change. We are risk averse. We prefer the devil we know to the one we don't. And it was precisely this fear of change that opponents of the last attempt at health reform used so mercilessly to their advantage. Most memorably in the infamous Harry and Louise ad that insurance companies ran against the Clintons' healthcare reform proposals.
This was covered under our old plan.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one, wasn't it?
Things are changing, and not all for the better. The government may force us to pick from a few healthcare plans designed by government bureaucrats.
You see how perfectly that ad speaks to the deep part of our psyches that fears the unknown? It's set in the future after the big change has come, and those who've lived through it are filled with regret and longing and nostalgia. They wish things had never changed. Because we all know we're going to die, there is some very deep part of us that always wants things to just stay as they are right now. It is embedded in our cells and in our souls. Things are changing, and not all for the better. It was that fear of the unknown that killed healthcare reform back in the 1990s, fueled by those who made a lot of money from the status quo being preserved. And that is the very reason that President Obama and Democrats pushing for healthcare reform in 2009 so hammered home the message: don't worry, if you have insurance, nothing's going to change for you. They also designed the entire policy of the Affordable Care Act around making good on that promise. The overwhelming majority of Americans, as much as 78% who have employer-provided coverage or Medicare or Medicaid, aren't seeing their plans change. But no amount of policy design or blanket promises can change the bedrock truth we are seeing now. Change, real change, like the kind the Affordable Care Act represents, is hard and unwieldy, and it requires disruption. And some people aren't gonna like it. Election night is a good time to remind ourselves of this simple basic truth. Politicians may try to hide or hedge that truth, but we shouldn't. Because it is elemental to what it means to be a progressive, to believe in progress and change and be part of the left, broadly construed, to be pushing out past the frontiers of the status quo into the darkness of the unknown with the belief there is something better in the future than in the past, that things can improve, that they must improve, and that our collective will and dedication and struggle can make it so. As always, the defenders of the status quo will fight with everything they have. They will have human psychology on their side. But it doesn't mean we are destined to lose. In the end, we do progress in spite of ourselves. So happy election day.
LA's known definitely for its traffic congestion, for the smog, but there are a lot of people that do ride the bus.